So ever since the first humans emerged 200,000 years ago, we've used our magnificent brains to spread across the world and become the dominant species on the Earth. And like anyone with something to brag about, we feel like this makes us important and special. Like, you might feel like we're better than the animals because we can kill them for their meat and wear their skins whenever it pleases us. But the fact is, you know, we feel like we're kind of the masters of this intellectual realm, or we're above our base instincts and desires. So you might say, for instance, look at my dog. He eats out of the trash. He has sex with anything that holds still for long enough. I am definitely better than him. No, you are worse. And like most assholes, we're worse because we think we're so much better, okay? Because we forget that inside each and every one of us is a set of genes that has been crafted over millions of years of brutal evolution, pulling our strings like some kind of puppet master that enjoys doing some perverse things to his puppet. And, well, each and every one of us has a set of genes that's unique. Those genes always have the same couple of goals, which is your genes want you to survive just long enough to fuck, and then they want you to die, okay? So let's talk a little bit about that first goal, survival. Now, ultimately, the goal for your genes is that you want to live long enough so that you can compete for a mate and trick some member of the opposite sex into reproducing with you. But first, we got to live long enough to do that. But the problem is that our genes are still stuck in the jungle 2 million years ago, and they assume that our life still involves fighting off starvation, rabid wolves, crocodiles, what have you. And that's just not true for us. And as a result, our genes really want some terrible things from us based on that assumption. Like the McDonald's cheeseburger, okay? It has so much protein and fat and carbs, which is exactly what you need if you want to survive in the wild. But unfortunately, you know, that's not where we are today, okay? Had one of our caveman ancestors discovered one of these cheeseburgers, he would have fallen onto his caveman knees and thanked his caveman gods for providing such a delicious, calorie-dense meal to help him survive, okay? Now, our genes kind of govern our taste, which is why that terrible food, which was good for our caveman ancestors, tastes so good today. So you don't have to pretend like you're too highbrow to enjoy a cheeseburger, because they are scientifically designed to be delicious for us, okay? They have sold 250 billion of these things. They are obviously onto something right, okay? So the problem arises when you add delicious cheeseburgers onto an already complete diet, because, you know, most of us don't have to worry about starving to death in our day-to-day life, okay? And as a result, you know, our genes just aren't equipped to deal with an environment where you can shovel cheeseburgers and fries down your throat as quickly as humanly possible. Now, the same ends up being true with exercise, because if I asked you, did our caveman ancestors have to exercise, what would you think about that? No, because every single day of their life involved non-stop exercise, okay? If your method of catching food is chasing that food until it dies of exhaustion, you have to be one fit motherfucker to get that done. Okay? So, that's why our genes don't want us to exercise, because exercising means wasting some of that sweet, sweet energy that they had to work so hard to acquire. Which is why most of us hate doing it, and we look upon the fit people with suspicion, okay? So, which brings us to goal number 2, which is reproduction. So, any gene that lives in an organism that hasn't reproduced is a failure, kind of the genetic equivalent of living with your parents until you're 50. So, what your genes want you to do is to find a nice boy or girl, settle down, and just bone the ever-living shit out of that person. So, all in the glorious quest to produce as many offspring as physically possible. So, if I were to ask you, Susan catches up here. Ladies, some of the gentlemen, do you want to take this man home with you and do some terrible, dirty things to him? Okay? Of course you do. He's beautiful. But he doesn't have any children. He's a genetic failure. Okay? How about this guy? Right? Nobody wants to have sex with Steve Buscemi because Steve Buscemi looks like something a child would draw if you asked him what a goblin looks like. But he has somehow managed to reproduce. He is the superior genetic model. Now, once we pass the reproductive stage, our genes kind of give up the ghost, and they really don't care what happened to you after that point, which is why after we reach our reproductive age, we tend to slow down, we break down, we die. not really a great life for the rest of us. So I know most of you at this stage of your life are enjoying, having your genes push you towards reproduction, but enjoy it while it lasts, because it's not too long before they give you up and leave you for dead. Thank you very much.